So now we're going to review some of the techniques that we've explored in previous teleconferences focusing on radiant health. And there are many Rosicrucian techniques that help create and maintain radiant health. And kind of a disclaimer at the beginning is these techniques are very powerful and effective. And there's nothing more powerful you can do if you're a smoker than to quit smoking. And there's nothing more powerful you can do if you eat refined sugar than to stop eating refined sugar. So we got that out of the way. That's the hard part. So no matter how many vowel sounds you do, if you're a smoker, it would be more beneficial to your health to stop smoking than doing vowel sounds or any of the other practices that we're going to work on right now. And I know you know that, and I know how challenging it is when we're addicted to any substance, whether it's refined sugar or tobacco or whatever it is. And that is the most effective way to give the biggest benefit to our health. And in that issue of the Rosicrucian Digest that I mentioned focuses on radiant health, it's number 2 of 2019. It includes a meditation that helps us to overcome addictions. So there, we got that part out of the way. And the Rosicrucian monographs give us many techniques for creating and maintaining radiant health. We're never given a specific diet that we need to eat. However, we're encouraged to eat healthy, whole food and to drink pure water, to get plenty of fresh air, to spend time out in nature, and to get plenty of rest. And that issue of the Rosicrucian Digest from 2019, it includes techniques for falling asleep in case you may have trouble falling asleep, and techniques for restoring balance when we get out of balance. So again, that's available for free online. If you go to rosicrucian.org, and then there's a tab at the top that says texts, and then you find a Rosicrucian Digest, and it's number 2 of 2019. Over the past few months, we have explored some specific techniques to help us at this particular time. And one technique is to boost our immune system. And we do this by placing our dominant hand on our thymus center in our chest here. The thymus gland is at its largest when we're a child, and it's involved with our growth, and then it shrinks as we get older. And it's extremely important in creating progenitor cells, which eventually become T cells. T cells are named that because they're thymus cells, which are essential in immunity. And they help to, the T cells help to destroy infected or cancerous cells. And this practice that we do, take your dominant hand. So I'm right-handed, so my right hand is my dominant hand, and you place it on your thymus center here in the chest. We're going to do this now. Just for a few minutes, we're going to take deep positive breaths. And positive breaths means that we hold our breath when our lungs are full. Always in a way that's comfortable. So place your dominant hand on your thymus center and inhale deeply. Hold your breath for as long as is comfortable. And when you exhale, don't hold your breath. You're going to breathe right back in again. So we'll do this for just a minute or two. When you're ready, drop your hand. This exercise neutralizes pathogens. So anytime that you know you may be out and about, of course, you'd be wearing a face mask, and just do this before you go out where you might be near other people. And you can practice it for as little as just a couple of minutes, and it's still very effective. Another technique that we previously discussed was the intonation of the vowel sound May. It's spelled M-E-H, but it's pronounced like the month of May. And this helps to calm our heart rate. It helps to create overall tranquility, and it affects the liquid properties of the body, especially the blood and the lymph. The vowel sound May helps with minor infections or illnesses originating in the bloodstream or the lymphatic system. We're going to intone the vowel sound May in a moment, and when we do, we're going to place our hands over our solar plexus. So we will interlace our fingers and place them on our solar plexus, which is just above the navel. And this area is not an endocrine gland. So most of the, well, actually all of the other Rosicrucian psychic centers, the centers that we focus on, are glands or organs, except for the solar plexus. And here's what the monographs tell us about this. The solar plexus is not an endocrine gland and does not secrete hormones. However, it is a nerve complex that unites the cerebral spinal fibers of the spinal cord. This explains how our thinking and even our decisions can affect it. The solar plexus reacts to our emotions and transmits a nervous impulse that either inhibits or promotes the activity of the minor glands of the body and their hormonal secretions. So even though the solar plexus is not a gland, it significantly affects many of the other glands. So we are now going to intone the vowel sound May. Please sit in whatever way is most comfortable for you. And again, interlace your fingers and then place your hands over your solar plexus just above the navel. And we'll now intone May 3 times. Ready? Inhale. May. Drop your hands when you're ready. And again, this vowel sound, in addition to helping us to feel more tranquil, it also helps with minor infections or illnesses originating in the lymph system or the bloodstream. When exploring radiant health in our previous teleconferences, we also practiced an exercise that's valuable if we have a headache or really a pain anywhere else in our body. And for this, we take the index and middle finger of both hands, and if we're treating a headache, we would place those fingers on the temples on each side of our head and take deep neutral breaths. We're not going to do that quite yet. Neutral breaths mean that we don't hold on the inhalation or the exhalation. We just breathe in deeply, don't hold the breath, breathe out, don't hold the breath. So we're not holding the breath when the lungs are full or empty. And this can be used, let's say if you have an ache in your knee, you could do the same thing, but instead of placing your fingers on each side of the forehead here for a headache, you could place them, the same fingers on each side of the knee. So we'll practice this now. Again, sit comfortably. Now place the index and middle finger of the left hand on one side of the affected area and the index and middle finger of the right hand on the other side. And once your fingers are in place, take deep neutral breaths. And at home, we would do this for about 5 minutes, but we'll just do this for about a minute now. Okay, and you can drop your hands. Usually this exercise provides relief immediately, but if not, you can do the same technique again after about 15 minutes, but give it some time in between. We've also explored emotional and mental health, and there are Rosicrucian techniques for this. First, stop watching the news. If you want to feel better, stop watching the news. If you feel that you must be informed of what's going on in the world, ask a trusted friend to fill you in on anything important that you really must be informed of. But for our mental and emotional health, it's in my own personal experience, I can say how valuable it is to stop watching the news. Although it doesn't actually say that in the monographs. I guess that's just my personal advice. The monographs do instruct us, though, to stay away from things that are negative, to not read negative books, to not watch violent films. So to watch things that are positive and uplifting, to fill our minds with positive and uplifting ideas, to surround ourselves with people who are uplifting. And as we explored in one of our teleconferences, laugh when we can. The more we can find to laugh about, the better for our health. So now we're going to practice several exercises together. And first we'll be focusing on our breath. It's the most simple of all healing techniques. And this is just to sit comfortably And we're not going to do this quite yet. We're going to do all the exercises together in a moment. This very simple exercise is presented early in the Rosicrucian monographs, and we just focus on the breath as it goes in and out of our nostrils. Just feel the breath going in and out of your nostrils, and if your mind wanders, just gently bring it back to feeling that air going in and out of the nostrils. And this is effective because it communicates to our autonomic nervous system that everything's okay. The autonomic nervous system controls our involuntary functions, such as digestion and respiration and circulation. And it's the hypothalamus gland and the hypothalamus center, which is in the middle of our head, that controls this. And it's watching for signals. It's watching to see if everything's okay. And so when we're breathing so normally, it's communicating to our hypothalamus center, everything's fine. There is no need to escalate my heart rate or my respiratory rate. Everything's fine. So it helps us to go into a very healthy, balanced state. So we're going to practice that in a few minutes. Then we will practice the overall exercise meditation. And in this, we'll focus our attention on a tiny cell in our toe, and then our foot, and then our legs, and we'll move up our body. And here's what the monographs say about this technique. Human beings have two nervous systems, the cerebral spinal nervous system and the autonomic nervous system. The first is responsible for all our voluntary acts, while the second, which vibrates at a lower rate, directs all our involuntary functions and supplies the energy needed for the accomplishment of activities performed under the control of our will. It is possible to feel the existence of the autonomic energy circulating throughout our body by stimulating our psychic consciousness, which we're going to do in the overall exercise, which vibrates within each cell. Our psychic consciousness controls the flow of the autonomic energy. So again, the autonomic system, the autonomic nervous system, controls those involuntary functions. We don't stop to think, okay, I need to breathe now, or I need to digest that food. There is a whole system that takes care of this for us. And we are able to feel the existence of the autonomic nervous energy circulating throughout our body by practicing the overall exercise. And then we're going to do some positive breathing and negative breathing. Positive doesn't mean good and negative doesn't mean bad. These are just two polarities. And when we stimulate the positive, we breathe in fully, we hold our breath while the lungs are full, and we don't hold our breath on the exhalation like we did just a few moments ago. And when we do the negative, we do just the opposite. We hold our breath while the lungs are empty. And we don't hold our breath when we breathe in, when we have air in our lungs. So we're going to practice negative first and then positive. And when we do the negative breathing, again, holding our breath while the lungs are empty, we're going to stand with our palms together above our head and our feet together. So we're going to just be straight up and down like that. And you'll hear me say, ready, inhale. And then we're going to intone the vowel sound associated with that, which is ma. We'll intone ma 3 times. So that's the negative. Then we do the positive. And we will move from having our hands together above our head like this and our feet together. Instead, we'll stand like we're in the shape of a star. So the arms will be outstretched with the palms upward. Our legs will be spread more apart, like at shoulder length. and we'll intone the vowel sound ra, R-A. So first we'll do ma, M-A, and then we'll do ra, R-A, 3 times each. So here's a little bit about vowel sounds. And the Rosicrucian Order sponsors an academic journal called the Rosicrucian Journal. It is a transdisciplinary journal that explores topics that cover more than one discipline. And there was an article, there was a paper in the Rosicrucian Journal in June of 2018 called Fourier Analysis of Certain Mystical Vowel Sound Intonations Using Pratt Software. And these were researchers who examined what happens to us when we intone vowel sounds. And here are some of their conclusions. Resonance occurs when intoning these specific sounds to reestablish the harmony between the individual's vibratory field, so our vibrations, and the unified field, which is the whole and undivided field of consciousness. So we are beings of energy swimming in an ocean of energy, and it helps to harmonize us with that energy. And they conclude, thereby leading to a cascade of therapeutic and healing effects. They noted that intoning vowel sounds can have therapeutic effects for Alzheimer's and improved neural activities. Physiological effects, such as an increase in melatonin and stabilization of the blood pressure and heart rate, an increase in nitric oxide levels, and nitric oxide signals the blood vessels to relax, allowing them to expand. It increases lymphatic circulation. Vowel sounds produce an increase in endorphin levels, and endorphins, you may know, are produced by the hypothalamus and pituitary glands, and that's the hormone when someone gets a runner's high, when they've been running and then just feel great. Those are endorphins. An increase in oxytocin levels. Oxytocin is produced in the hypothalamus and secreted into the bloodstream by the pituitary gland. It's important in social bonding, and especially with mothers bonding with their infants. It's often called the cuddle chemical. It's when we feel a bond with someone. And vowel sounds can positively influence a person's mind, body, pineal systems. So we're going to practice these all together. And if you would sit in whatever way is most comfortable for you. Take 3 deep breaths, becoming more relaxed with each inhalation. Now, breathe normally and focus on the air as it goes in and out of your nostrils. If your mind wanders, just gently bring it back to feeling that air going in and out of your nostrils. Now focus your attention on a tiny vibrating cell in your left big toe. Feel the vibrating energy there. Expand your awareness to your entire left foot. Now, feel the energy vibrating in a tiny cell in your right big toe. And expand your awareness to your entire right foot. Now, your left lower leg. Your right lower leg. Your left upper leg. Your right upper leg. Your hips. Your abdomen. Your chest. Now, feel the energy vibrating in the fingers on your left hand. Expand your awareness to your entire left hand. Now your fingers on your right hand. And expand your awareness to your entire right hand. Your left forearm. Your right forearm. Your left upper arm. Your right upper arm. Now bring your awareness to the base of your spine. Feel the energy vibrating there. And as you draw your awareness up your spine, be aware of the energy vibrating in your lower back. Your middle back. Your upper back. Your shoulders. Your neck. Your jaw. Your mouth. Your ears. Your nose. your eyes, your forehead, the top of your head, now, if you're comfortable standing, stand with your feet together, or you can do this seated, but you can do this lying down, standing, or seated, and place your hands above your head with the palms touching and your feet together. And take deep negative breaths, meaning you exhale completely. You hold your breath while the lungs are empty. And don't hold your breath on the inhalation. Breathe right back out again. Now we're going to intone the vowel sound ma, M-A, ma, 3 times. Ready? Inhale. Ma. 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 Now we're going to balance that negative energy with positive energy. So stand in the shape of a star, palms up, feet apart, arms out. Take deep positive breaths. So you inhale completely, hold your breath while the lungs are full, and don't hold on the exhalation. Just breathe right back in. Now we're going to intone the vowel sound ra, R-A, ra, 3 times. Ready? Inhale. Ra. 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 Drop your arms. Now, place your hands about 12 inches apart with the palms facing each other, either at the level of your chest or the level of your solar plexus. Close your eyes and slowly draw the palms of your hands together. Very slowly draw the palms of your hands together. And once your palms touch, then do the same thing again, this time with your eyes open. And you can either look at your fingers or at the space between your fingers. And again, slowly draw the palms of your hands together. And once you have done that, drop your hands, and if you like, you can be seated. And now in the chat, or we'll unmute the microphones, share in just one or two words, just one or two words, your experience of bringing your hands together. If there's anything that you sensed when you brought your hands together.
An energy,
Felt like it's
warmth.
Energy.
Definitely energy.
A ball.
Mystic light.
A ball.
A
Ball.
ball energy.
There was
High vibration.
The hands began to move on their own, and I saw colors between my two hands.
Very calming.
My hands moved together on their own, like some kind of magnetism. And I saw little sprinkled stars.
Saw blue mist.
the force between my hands.
Nothing whatsoever.
That's okay. Don't worry if you felt nothing whatsoever. And sometimes if we try too hard, we aren't aware of the energy that's flowing. So you can try this exercise again on your own and see if you may feel either, sometimes it feels like our hands are being kept apart, and other times like they're being drawn together. And if we're really relaxed, we may be able to see the energy between our fingers. And often the energy will jump from the fingers on one hand to the fingers on another hand. So just keep trying this. Even if you didn't feel anything this time, it seems to be especially helpful to intone the vowel sounds aloud and in pretty full force. In the past, when we've done this, if someone didn't feel results, they said that they didn't intone the vowel sound a lot. So it's helpful to intone the vowel sound out loud. Anyone else?
Should we, Grandmaster Julie, thank you. Should we do all three of those in tandem in order to have the energy field pronounced?
This is a very effective technique to get our energy harmonized, and it's not just in balance, it actually resonates. So it builds on each other. So if you have time to do it, it's helpful to first focus on the breath, and then to do the overall exercise, and then the rebalancing exercise. And the reason we did our hands like this was just a demonstration so that you could feel the energy. And in the Sixth Temple degree, we study techniques that use this energy that naturally comes off of our hands. We place our fingers at different places on the spinal column in order to stimulate certain healing. So it's there all the time. We're just able to feel it better when we've harmonized like this. And I mentioned if you have time, and I say that because over many, many years, I've heard a number of members say that they want to do all the exercises, but they have to get to work, and so they just stop doing everything. So do what you have time for. Don't get to the point where you've done so much that you're like, I'm going to be late for work if I have to do these exercises. If you're not able to get up earlier, just do the 2 minutes breathing or do the 5-minute overall exercise.